topic called function. So what is function? Before we are going to the topic of function, let's see why we are going to use a function. So why function? Why function? Let's take an example. If I have 100 lines of code 1, code 1, code 2, code 3, code 4, and so on. And 400. In this code, if I run an entire code, if I have an error, I need to check a line by line. But if I have an error in a code 56, I need to check all code 55 and then I have to find out in code 56 I have an error. To reduce these time complexity and to find these tedious errors, so we are going to move into a function. So function has some list of benefits why we are going to use function. Let's see one by one. So the first one we are going to see number one, simplify code. It does complex logic are breaking down into the smaller task. And the second one is reduce errors. Here function minimize the error by isolating the logic and reducing the code duplication. Duplication is nothing but repetition. And the third one is improve code structure. Here, the function organizes code into logical section. And the next one is fourth one, enhance collaboration. Here, function facilitate teamwork by allowing multiple developer to work on different module. And the last benefit is ease debugging. Here, it makes easier to identify and debug error. So these are the benefits why we are using functions. Simplify scores, reduce errors, improve code structure, enhance collaboration, and easy debug. Now, let's see a definition for a function. Definition. Now, what is function? In that benefit itself, we came across some words like reduce codes, block, easy, organized. So these, based upon this, we just going to frame a definition. So function is a reusable block of code that perform a specific task. A function is a reusable block of code that perform a specific task, or it can be given in another format, a set of statement that takes input and perform some computation or some operation and produce the desired output based on the given input. So a function is an reusable block of code, or it is a set of statement where it takes an input and provides some computation or operation and gives a desired output. Now let's see a syntax. Now let's see a syntax for function. Syntax. Syntax is, first we need to mention return type and then space function name and then arguments or parameters with input and then followed by semicolon. Here, return type can be, here the return type can be int, float, string, char, or double, etc. based on the input or output we need. And the function name can be given by the user based on the problem we are solving. And argument or parameter is nothing but takes an input to perform the operation to produce an output. So the syntax for the function is So this is a syntax for function. Okay. This is a syntax for function. Return type followed by this function name. This function name should be follow a variable rules also. What is a variable rule? It should start with a character. It should not start with the digits or any special characters except the underscore. So same rule applicable for the function name is also. Okay, so this is the syntax of function. We are going to see the characteristics of functions. So every concept has a own characteristics. So here, what is the characteristics of function? There are four characteristics of function. Let's see one by one. The first one is a named block. The first one is named block of code. This is nothing but a function will be written in the under a common name. Or for example, if you're going to write an addition, a sum of two numbers, we have called the function called add. So that is called a add has a set of block of code. So that's called named block of code. And the second argument is and the second characteristics and the second characteristics in functions is taking arguments. So that is nothing but an input. So based on the problem, we can change the number of inputs or a data type of input like int, float, character, or it can take two input to array or input or string as an input, or two input you can take it, five input. Based upon the problem, we can take an input. And the third characteristics is return values or return type. So this is nothing but an output. So based on the input type, the return value will be given. Or if you start with an output, if you start given input as int, and if the output will be an int because we'll give a return type. So return type is nothing but in which data type we'll get an output. Okay, and the next final one is reusable. So this set of function will be reused again and again when we need. When we call a function, a set of block will be called, and this set of computations will be performed. So these are the characteristics of function. So characteristic of function is named block of code, taking arguments is nothing but an input, and return value is nothing but an output, and it is a reusable code. And the next topic is function components. So what are all the components we have in a function? In a definition itself, we saw first one is function name. This is a mandatory, which applies a rule for a variable. What are the rules we apply to declare a variable? Same rule will be applicable for the function name also. And second one, the second component is parameter or argument. Parameter or argument, both are same. It is nothing but an input. Okay, so in a components we saw input, so that is a components. And the third one is function body. This is nothing but a body of the function, that is a computation part of the function. This is nothing but a computation part of the function. And the final one is return type. So this is a components. This is the main components we are going to use in a function. First one is function name, that is mandatory, and then parameters or an argument, that is an optional based on the solution, we can give a parameter or we can't give a parameter. And the body of the function, that is a computation set of statements we are going to execute. And the last one is return type. What type it should return? It should return integer or character or a float or a null value or a void. Something else should return a function. So these are the components used in a function. And the next topic we are going to see is what is the advantages of, that is merits of function. So merits is what is the advantage of using this? The main is code reusability, right? What is the meaning of code reusability? Reusability means you can use it again and again. So a set of code can be used again and again when you call a function. Okay, let's see an example. For example, 3 plus 4 plus, 3 plus 4 plus 5 minus 8 minus 9 into 5 plus 6. So I need to perform these operations. So here, how many addition have been taken? 1, 2, 3. So 3 addition have been taken and 2 subtraction and 1 multiplication. If I want to write a code to compute this, I need to write 3 set of addition coding, right? So to avoid that repeated, I'm going to use a function like add. So that add function can be called 3 times or n number of times. So that is called reusability of a code. Same subtraction can be called 2 times and multiple can be called 1 time. So this is one of the merit. We are going for the function. And the second one is modularity. Modularity is nothing but how we are going to modify a function based on the input, or how a user can also modify based on that. So the function can be, see, the mandatory portions of function name, parameters, and data type. That's all. So inside a function, we can call anything. So that is a modularity. And the last third one is easy to maintenance. Easier to maintenance. So meaning of this advantage is we can find an error easily, right? First, in the in the benefits of function, I have told that is reduce errors. So we can easy to maintenance we can reduce error by a set of block of statement. And the next one, fourth one is improve readability. Improved readability. Improve readability. The next topic we are going to see is types of function. Two types of function. One is built-in function, and the second one is user-defined function. So built-in function is nothing but it has scanf. So what are the built-in functions? Built-in functions means already those functions have been created, like scanf, printf, gets, puts, fopen, fclose. So these are all the already declared or already created functions. So this is called built-in functions. Now, what is user-defined function? User-defined function is a function which is used by the user, or which is given by the user. The name of the function which is given by the user is called user-defined function. Example, add, sub, mul, div, fact. So these are all the user-defined function. So to define these functions also, our same variable rule will be applicable. So these are the types of functions. First one is built-in function and next one is user-defined function. And one more function is library function, which has math.h, string.h, stdio.h. So these are all the library functions already declared using libraries. We are going to use the functions like using math.functions. We can use square or apps. So these are all the math.functions and string functions, string.h library which contains a following functions that string concatenation, string copy, string lowercase, uppercase. So these are all the functions used in a string.h library functions. The next topic we are going to see is what is function definition and function declaration. Function definition. So what is function definition? A block of code that specify the function name, return type, parameters, and body. Okay. Function definition specifies function name, return type, parameters, and body. Now let's see a syntax of it. So syntax is say return type, function name, argument, open bracket, function body, and close bracket. So this is function definition. See here, in function definition, a block of code is specified, function name, return type, parameters, and body of the function. So this is a function definition. Okay. Now we are going to see function declaration. Is a statement that specify the function name, that specify the function name, return type, and parameter list. That's all. Okay. It's a statement that specify the function name, return type, and parameter list. Now let's see a syntax of it. So syntax is return type space function name and then argument or parameter followed by the semicolon. So now this is a function declaration. Understood? Function declaration contain function name, return type, and list of argument. Understood? Now we see an program example for a function declaration and function definition. Okay. Hash include stdio dot h and then we'll just first write a main function int main. Here I'm going to declare Here I'm going to declare int a equal to 10, b equal to 5. So here I'm going to perform an addition. So in sum equal to, going to declare a variable, declare a function a comma b. So here add is a function a and b is a list of arguments, and return type is integer. Now I'm going to print the sum. Sum. And then return 0. Okay. So I have written a main function. Now I am going to return a sub function, that is add function. So add function I'm going to return upon a main function. So int add. So now how many parameters? There are 2 parameters with an integer data type int x comma int y. Okay. Why I have used x and y here? A and b. So this is an integer data type. The variable should not be equal. Okay. It need not to be an equal. It can be the function. It should satisfy the condition, right? How many parameters and what is the data type of parameters alone. Not a variable should be same. So if I I have declared a int add int x comma int y. Now int sum I'm going to declare equal to x plus y, and then return sum. See listen here. So return sum. So sum is an integer. So I have written a return int. Return type is an int. So here this is a function declaration and this is a function definition. Understood? See in function declaration, let's see what is the definition of it. Function declaration. It specifies a statement. Specify a statement with a function name, return type, and then list of arguments, right? In the function definition, it contains a set of block of function name, parameters, return type, and body of the function, right? So this is function definition. So this is function definition. And this is function declaration. Understood? So this is function definition and function declaration. Function definition, function declaration. Now I'm going to run the program. What program we have written. Now I'm going to run into this compiler. See, hash include function definition is this, function declaration is this. Okay. So now I'm going to run. See what is an output. See, we got an output as 15 because 10 and 5 to add a number. So this 10 and 5 has been given as a parameter as an input. Here the addition operation is done and the sum is returned to the main function again. This is a function definition and function declaration. Now we are going to see an example for function call. Function call is nothing but we can declare a function in a here, or we can declare. So function declaration can be done like this also. Int add int x comma int y. So this is also function declaration. Okay. So this is function declaration. This is function definition. And here, this is called a function call. Here the function is calling. So add function is calling here. Hence this is called as a function call, or it is a function calling function. It is called as a calling function. Understood? And this is called function. This is called function. Okay. Now you know the difference between calling function and a called function. Calling function is nothing but a declaration of a function. Called function is nothing but a function definition is a called function. The same output will be given to this, right? So same output is given. So this is function call. So function call is nothing but it is a process of function call is nothing but process of invoking a function to execute its code. So this function is invokes a function add to execute a some function, some add. Okay. So this is function call. So the next topic we are going to see is call by value. So before going to the call by value and call by reference, you need to know what is actual parameter and what is formal parameter. That is nothing but in a calling function, we are going to call it as an actual parameter. The called function is called as a formal parameter. Parameter is nothing but a bracket, the value is written in a bracket, that is x and y. So here a and b is an actual parameter. Here x and y is a formal parameter. The function calling argument is called an actual parameter. Called function argument is called as a formal parameter. So based on these two keywords, we are going to see the concept of call by value and call by reference. Before that, what is call by value? I'll write what is call by value. So call by value is nothing but copy an argument from call by value is nothing but actual value is copied from copied and passed to the formal parameter. So call by value is nothing but actual parameter. This actual parameter a and b value is copied to the formal parameter x and y. Okay, now let's see an example of it. Let's see a swapping example. Okay, I'll just take that. We'll see a swapping example. Void swap int x comma int y. So now I'm going to write a function definition. Right? So I have declared function name as swap and return type as void. The parameter as an x and y with an integer data type. So here int temp equal to x. So same swapping with the third variable. X is equal to y. Y is equal to temp. Right? Here printf inside swapping function, the value x equal to %t, comma y equal to %t. Let's go close the quotes and x comma y and semicolon and end it. Okay. Now I'm going to write a main function int main. Int main. Now I'm going to declare a two variable int a equal to 5, b equal to 10, and then printf before swapping the value is A equal to percentage t, comma B equal to percentage t. Since I have used the variable a and b here, I'm using a printf is also a and b. So a comma b. Now I'm going to call a function. This is calling function swap of a comma b. Right? This is a function calling function. This is calling function. And then next one more printf. Printf after swapping. After swapping function called. A is equal to percentage t, comma B is equal to percentage t, comma A, comma B. Okay, that's it. And then return 0. Now I'm going to see what I have used here. I have declared two integer values A and B, and before that I'm going to print A value and then B value. I'm going to call the swap function. So here I'm going to swap it, and then after that I'm going to print the value. Now we'll run the code. So semicolon should come. See here, before swapping, the value A is 5 and B is 5. So to make it correct, I'll use a next line. Okay. Now I'll run the code. See, listen here. Before swapping, the value of A and B is 5 and 10. Inside swapping function. So here the swapping function becomes swapped 10 and 5. And after calling also the swapped function becomes same. Because since we are using a call by value, only value is going to be passed to the parameter. Only the 5 and 10 is going to be given to the variable, and that is going to be swapped, not an address of it. To make this, we go to the call by reference. Call by reference. Here, the address of actual parameter is copied and passed to the formal parameter. Understood? So, in call by reference, the address of A and B is given to the parameter and it is given in a formal parameter. Again, so in call by value, the actual value and the formal value will not affect if you change any formal values. But here, if you change the formal values, formal parameter, it will affect the actual parameters. So now the program looks like, so we are going to send an address. So address denoted as ampersand A. Address of A and B, ampersand A and B. Here it is accessed using a pointer asterisk. Okay. So I have used an asterisk. So this is a pointer concept. Understood? So now if I run a code, let's see an example. What is an output? See, here A is equal to 5 and 10, right? This is before swapping. See, inside swapping, see, listen, it has given us an integer number, right? So what is this number? A long number. That is, I have given only x and y. So x and y holds only the address of A and B. So if I need a value of A and B, I should give a star x, that is asterisk x and asterisk y as a value. To print the address, I have given an x and y. So see here, the same number have been given, the last 3-digit number. 796 and this is 800. So integer contains a size of 4 bytes. So 7960 is an address of A and 800 is an address of B. Since it is an integer, it allocates 4 bytes. Okay, to print a value, I'm using an asterisk symbol here. So now I'm going to run a code. See here. So before swapping A 5 and 10, So as it is given, so now I have given an address of A and B. So here it is swapped as 10 and 5. Once it is returned, the same 10 and Y have been given because the address holds the value is swapped. Right? So this is called call by reference. So here if you change, so if you change the value in formal parameter, it will affect actual parameter because we have used address in the argument. Address of an argument. But in call by value, we just pass only a value of it, so it doesn't affect anything, right? So that's all. So this is a concept of function. So this is the concept of function we saw today.